The race, days 16 and 17. 2 more checkpoints. We run along the coast, along the edge of the ice with towering cliffs going up to our right. The ocean is breaking away the ice, and finally there is nothing except water in front, so we angle up into country, across a mountain, dead over the top of it, and down across another bay on ice. Here the wind is strong and blowing straight from the rear. The ice is sheer, flat, absolutely slick, and the wind is blowing from the rear, makes my body act as a sail. The sled blows forward and sideways, and I must ride the brake to keep from running up on the dogs all across the bay. The dogs seem to smell Nome now. They have changed and know we are near the end, and when we leave the last checkpoint but one and head out onto the beach, a 40-mile long beach ending in Nome, they seem to have a new purpose in their steps. It is perhaps all in my head, but then so much else is that it doesn't matter. They run through the day along the edge of the beach, running on the ice itself because the wind has blown all of the snow off the beach sand. As dark comes, I can see the lights of the finish, of Nome, 20 or miles ahead, and when I realize what they are, I stop the team. I do not want to go in and finish the race. I do not understand why, but I do not want to go in. I actually begin to walk up and take my leader and turn the dogs around and run back. There is no sense to it, but somehow it is because the race is something that doesn't seem like it can be done. Not really. You can talk about it and plan for it and train for it, but it is not something you can do. The run. Even then, when you are making the run, it doesn't seem possible. And while you are in it and crossing the Alaska Range at Rainy Pass and running through the burn and across the interior, even when you are alone on the planet and then know that you are alone on the planet, even as you run out to the coast and up the coast and across the Norton Sound and along the icy cliffs through all of the glorious northern villages with names like Kaltag, Koyuk, and Saltalik, I don't know why I'm saying it wrong, Una La Cleet and Elim, and even when you see the lights of Nome and think you will easily finish, even then, it is nothing you can do. Not something that can be done, and yet you do it, and there it becomes something you don't want to end ever. You want the race, the exhilaration, the joy and beauty of it to go on and on. And so I stopped them and thought of turning around and going back into the middle of the world, the place I had found in the center of the world where it was only the dogs and only me, and I hung there for a minute with my hand on the leader's back, and I think I would have turned them except that I heard a yell, and it was my wife. A man in Nome had brought her out on a small road in a Jeep. They had seen me coming and seen me stop, and her voice broke the spell. I got on the sled again and let them run, and they followed the ice along the beach until we hit the ramp where they launched boats, and we ran up that onto Front Street and down the mile of bare asphalt to the arch, the finish line. Cookie, the leader, stopped before the arch, and I had to drag her beneath it to finish. She was afraid of the crowd of people. I turned and could not keep from crying as I hugged my wife and son and then the dogs, starting from front to back, hugging each dog until 2 mushers took them away to put them on beds. I turned to the mayor of Nome, who was there to greet me, and said the one thing I never thought I would ever say. We'll be back to run it again. And I knew it was true.